Ladies and gentlemen watching live around the world, welcome to historic Wembley Arena in London, England. The British Association of Mixed Martial Arts proudly presents BAMMA 10. Our opening bout of the evening is presented by GoDaddy.com. The following bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the BAMMA middleweight division. Introducing first the man standing to my left and fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed in at 185 1/2 pounds. He is a striker and a wrestler with a record of 17 victories opposite 8 defeats, fighting out of London, England by way of Kingston, Jamaica, Denniston Sutherland. His opponent stands across the cage to my right and fights out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 183 3/4 pounds. He is a striker and a wrestler with a record of 10 victories opposite 9 defeats, fighting out of Liverpool, England, Leeroy Barnes. Your referee to give the instructions, Mark Goddard.
So Pierre, Wembley Arena is buzzing now as these two big men come up to each other. And the thing here, Leeroy Barnes, he's a bit of an enigma. He had an incredible stand-up war with Jack Marshman, stood and traded with him despite being a submission specialist, then tapped out a veteran in Matt Ewing.
But do you know why he stood up? Because that's the type of person he is. You tell him he can't do something, he wants to prove you wrong. However, didn't end up with the win, so maybe he'll change his game plan tonight.
Well, that's it. We both agree that this is a man we feel has yet to reach his full potential. He's only 28.
Big shots by both fighters, and yes, he still has room to improve. However, you always feel with Leeroy Barnes, he's maybe just one fight away from something huge.
Yes, you'd like to see him put together a good run, but he's got a dangerous opponent in Denniston Sutherland in front of him. Very experienced man, 17 wins on his CV. But again, Leeroy Barnes happy to stand and trade with him. And a big knee from Barnes on the way in.
A little bit of clinch work there. Both guys trying to get the range. Jump knee there by Leeroy. Just muscling the clinch. Has Denniston's back up against the cage, looking for a possible double. Denniston getting those hips in, trying to turn out.
Yes, he's got a good sprawl there, hasn't he? He's done well there, but Leeroy, that was all a setup.
Yep, and Leeroy broke the distance down very well, but what he has to do is make sure that he protects that neck, because Southern is looking for a possible guillotine attempt. Opts out of it.
Yes, I don't think he's going to get it on Barnes there. He'll know what to do here, but it was interesting that the striker, Sutherland, was the man that wanted to tie up, which shows how good Barnes has become upright.
Well, ooh, big shot over the top. Buckled his knees slightly, big knee through the middle. Leeroy Barnes looked like he might have been rocked. Ooh, chin up.
Well, again, just like he did with Marshman, happy to stand and trade. But now there's the telltale sign, Pierre. He went for the double leg because you're right, he was hurt. Suddenly, Denniston exploded, and those big knees are the danger.
And I tell you what, those knees may not have an immediate effect, but I tell you what, it will wear down on him in the second half of the first round, beginning of the second, looking for an ankle pick, possibly Denniston Sutherland.
Well, as we saw with Marshman, Barnes was happy to stand and trade. He got tagged. We know one thing, this man has got a strong chin.
He's been hit by some of the best and shaking it off, and it would be a shame for it to end so early in the first round.
Well, he's shaking it off again on his own knee there. Bit wild with the hooks, and again looking for the takedown, but Sutherland so good at keeping it upright.
Well, there was a body lock there by Leeroy Barnes. However, when you pick somebody up and you don't make the takedown, that's wasted effort, wasted energy. So he has to be careful. He has to be smart about the takedown attempts. Big high crotch. Nice takedown there from one Leeroy Barnes.
And kept the distance nice as well. Made sure there wasn't too much between them.
Yeah, we talked about that previously. You said sometimes the big slam makes great TV. However, you get into a bad position because you allow space. However, Leeroy Barnes, being the veteran, closed that down very quickly.
That would be a fair assumption to say that really here Denniston will look to try and tie Leeroy up or get back to his feet. He'll want it standing more. He won't be as comfortable here as Leeroy.
Yeah, and Leeroy, oh, nice turnout there by Denniston Sutherland, back on his feet. Little dirty boxing there by Leeroy Barnes. And to me, Denniston has the right game plan. He's the one that's making the advances, scoring on the stand-up, so let's bring it back to the feet.
We saw him there push the head down and then the vicious knees. Barnes cannot take too many of these, and the knee, such a dangerous weapon. It's a cutting tool. Along with the elbow, the points, they can really, really hurt and stop a fight instantly, Pierre.
Yep. Monkey roll to a knee bar attempt, sliding over for a possible heel hook. The only thing is, you have Denniston Sutherland, he's still in the upright position. He's going to peel the legs off, try to throw the strike straight down the pipe, and you don't want that big lump on top of you.
Well, we're inside the last minute and a half, and that's exactly where Leeroy Barnes is. It's been real seesaw, hasn't it? Neither man has really had ascendancy, but we've seen all the ranges already.
Yeah, and both of these fighters are veterans. Both of these fighters come in from very good camps. They're going to know all the moves. They're very, they're working with a great skill set. But what for me is impressive is the control that I'm seeing by Denniston. If he wants to get back up, he gets back up. If he wants it to the ground, he takes it to the ground.
And we mentioned the cutting tools, the short knees. There was the short downward elbows there. They can open up a cut. That cut can widen. It's amazing how quickly in mixed martial arts action a fight can be ended.
Well, earlier in the evening, we had guys that were just totally dominant. Nice little back to the feet, back to all fours by Leeroy Barnes. However, Denniston Sutherland possibly looking to take the back.
And another heavy knee. We're inside the last 30 seconds. And it's been a good reply from Denniston Sutherland, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And I tell you what, Denniston is working all ranges. He's throwing those short elbow shots to the legs, trying to affect the mobility. Nice little head roll there by Denniston. Now, Leeroy Barnes, a little bit too late maybe, closing seconds of the first, and he gets that topside position.
Yes, you're right. We're inside the last 10 seconds. He won't be able to do anything from it here. So, very interesting opening round here. You could make a case for both men, but I think the last half of that round, more so for Denniston Sutherland.
He definitely, in my opinion, started to take over. However, never count Leeroy Barnes out. Even in a bad position, he's always swinging. He's always trying to hunt for a submission. Now, I'd like to take you back. He did something very smart in that when Denniston Sutherland had him pressed up against the cage, he put one hand down so that Sutherland couldn't knee him in the face. However, Sutherland took full advantage and drove those knees really, really hard into the body, and it's going to take effect, I guarantee you, here in the second, and if it makes it into the third.
So here we go with round two. We've got Sutherland possibly taking that first round, but already Barnes has shown his durability, but he doesn't need to keep doing that, Pierre. He's shown us how strong his chin is. He does take risks, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's throwing the shots when he should be looking to close. Ooh, big shot again. Short chopping shot there as a reply from Leeroy Barnes. Sutherland ducks under, goes for the possible sweep. Looking for a possible high crotch now.
And this is a show of Denniston Sutherland's strength, because not many men can turn and spin Leeroy Barnes like that.
Look at Leeroy Barnes. I mean, he's a physical specimen. Denniston Sutherland, although not muscular, unassuming almost, but man, he is so strong. Talking to the guys in the gym that he works out with, they said his strength is incredible, and that's definitely something that Leeroy Barnes is finding out here.
Yes, troubled first round for Barnes. He's not started well in the second, but he is dangerous on his back, Barnes.
Now, possible key lock there, looking to get that all the way extended out. He needs to bring him up. He has to be careful because Leeroy could sit up.
And he does it, and they're going to be back to their feet again, but it's the same problem for Leeroy Barnes at the moment. Denniston Sutherland is dictating the pace and the style of this fight.
That is dictating the ground movements, the space, the range. Leeroy Barnes should have taken his back. However, Denniston Sutherland saw it coming, and he really turned those hips into it. Now, if you can hear the crowd, they are very vocal for both fighters. So, nice slam there. Now, listen to the electricity that generated here at Wembley Arena.
That's right, and suddenly the opportunity for ground and pound for Barnes. Now, he needs to create that space if he's going to get this going, doesn't he?
He's got to capitalize. I mean, this is the first time that he's been in that dominant position. He wants to do positioning before submission, and now look at this here, possibly taking the back of Denniston Sutherland. He has to be careful. But again, going back to that position, you want to make sure you take care of that first, because if you lose your position, you lose everything else.
That's right, so important in this game. And now it's Leeroy Barnes' turn to put down the chopping elbows on his opponent. Postured up nicely. This is dangerous times for Sutherland.
Yep, but what I would do if I was Leeroy Barnes, I'd take him away from the cage, try to take his feet off of the cage, so that way he can't try to wall crawl, he can't try to push up, because again, you do not want to sacrifice this position.
No, this is a good turnaround for Leeroy Barnes. There's just under 2.5 minutes left. If he can keep this positivity and the ascendancy, that will surely be a round each.
He needs to work, and I think Denniston soundly won the second half of that first round, edging him out. Now look at this here. Possible guillotine, arm in guillotine attempt here by Leeroy Barnes. You hear the crowd getting behind their fighters.
And you can see the effort there from Barnes, but Sutherland's popped out. And listen to that pop from the crowd as Denniston Sutherland pops out. Big support from here. They really appreciated that.
Well, London appreciates just violence, and we're talking about skilled violence in mixed martial arts, and they really do support their fighters here.
Yes, Sutherland now back on top. The moment has passed there for Barnes, and it's Sutherland raining down those elbows again.
Nice chopping, little short shots there. Leeroy Barnes is going to have to advance it. Look at that, just cross-faced him back down to the mat. Now,
and again, Pierre, the moment those chopping elbows come down, Mark Goddard, our referee, starts to walk closer. He knows how dangerous these moments are for Leeroy Barnes.
Leeroy Barnes hammer fisting, looking possibly take the back, setting the hooks in, but opts to stay in that same side position and just hammering those shots. You can hear him. Nice little turn.
But again, Denniston keeps his back. He's had a resurgence again in this second round. It's like an internal clock with Sutherland, isn't it? The second half of this round, he's come on strongly again. We're inside the last minute, and all the judges are seeing are Sutherland on the attack.
And Leeroy Barnes is no second-rate fighter, and for Denniston to just be having his way with the ground and pound, that's a testament to Denniston Sutherland's ground and pound and just the way that he's taking control here in the second round.
I think it's also testament to his desire. He's 39 years of age. You've got to be looking at the clock. This is a big stage. This is BAMMA 10, and I think Sutherland really wants to impress and show there's still mileage there, and there's still a lot to be got from him, and I think he's proving it in a big, big way.
Now, I think that Leeroy Barnes has been cut, or he's bleeding out of the nose. It's going to be interesting to see during the break here.
Now, Mark Goddard looking very closely where those elbows are landing. They're not allowed at the back of the head. Big round again for Sutherland.
Leeroy Barnes just a little bit more hesitant on the get-up in between rounds.
He had a very good middle section to the round, but again, Sutherland's body clock ticked in, and a strong finish. And as we've said before, Pierre, the judges, when it's close, that can sway them, seeing the man at the end battering his opponent like that. I feel they've probably gone for Sutherland a second time.
Well, you always hear from the corners, you always want to try to win that last 30 seconds, because that's the last impression that you leave on the judge's mind.
This event is also being shown live across the Atlantic in the United States and Canada on Access TV on the Eastern Net. Again, it's on Twitter using the hashtag BAMMA5star.
So as the corners are ushered out, this man that we're seeing here, Leeroy Barnes, he needs a big, big round, possibly a submission or a KO. We think he's 2 down.
I think he's 2 down, but a 2-down fighter is a dangerous fighter.
So round 3 now, and Denniston Sutherland has been really in the ascendancy in the opening 2 rounds. Barnes bloodied, but still there. Can he turn it around? He needs to turn it around.
Well, with Leeroy Barnes, you can never take him out of the fight. However, saying that Denniston Sutherland has controlled the work pace, he's controlled all areas, all facets of this bout.
Yes. And the technique choice from Denniston has been right at the right time, because there have been moments, there have been takedowns from Leeroy, 2 big slams, and Denniston has regrouped and turned it around again.
But he's a seasoned fighter, and also he's not seen anything that Leeroy Barnes has thrown at him that he's never seen before.
And again, Leeroy Barnes under all sorts of pressure, takes a short right in that little dirty boxing exchange, and Denniston going for the guillotine again.
Now, as soon as Denniston goes for the guillotine, you see Leeroy trying to feed the arm in, trying to take the pressure off of that. He needs to protect the neck, peel that off, just like he did. Textbook escape there by Leeroy Barnes. Big knees. I mean, Denniston Sutherland is a wrestler / striker. I haven't seen him utilize the knees, but he's done it beautifully tonight, really getting them. Oh, look at that drop down.
Reverse sweep as well.
This is a bad position for Leeroy Barnes. He doesn't have his base up underneath him. He's not really able to get back to his feet. You've got Denniston Sutherland just postured up to throw strikes, maybe trying to isolate an arm, and those little elbows, man, they won't knock you out, but they will make you move.
Well, once again, Barnes has proved his durability, but I don't think that's what he'll want to take away from this fight. People saying, wow, he was durable.
Well, durability doesn't win fights, unfortunately. You can't question his heart. I mean, he's in there. He won't quit. However, Denniston Sutherland is a man on fire here tonight.
That's right. You can't believe there's an 11-year age gap between them. So well conditioned, so fit. And again, those knees. Debilitating knees here. Oh, and right into the ribcage. Pierre, surely he can't take many more of these.
One of the most painful injuries that I've ever had has been a nice little short elbow, again there by Leeroy Barnes. Leeroy Barnes says, if I'm going down swinging. And that's what I love about this guy.
Yes, I said he's an enigma. Look at that, he swung and collapsed from sheer exhaustion, sheer energy expended. And once again, Sutherland is relentless in his pursuit.
Again, dominating the exchanges, dominating the positioning. Just Denniston Sutherland having his way in the 3rd round.
And with Leeroy like that, he's got all the time in the world to make his transitions, hasn't he?
You know what? It's a lot easier said than done. I've been there. I've been so tired that I know that all I need to do is slip the jab or slip the punch, but I'm just too tired to move my head an inch.
Well, he didn't slip that knee either. He ate that as well. And Sutherland's finishing strong. There's the courage of Barnes. Listen to the crowd's response here at Wembley as they tie up again.
Nice takedown. Where is he getting the energy, or much less the fitness / cardio, to do this after eating all of those knees from Denniston Sutherland?
Well, he might be feeding on the crowd's response. There was a big pop for him there as he did that. And as you said before, when you hear your fans getting behind you, it gives you that extra little bit of energy. But again, Sutherland has adapted once more.
Now look at that. That looked like a possible fireman's carry. However, he was just too tired to complete it. He gets back to his knees. Denniston looking to set in hooks possibly. No, he opts to stay in that position, trying to trap the arm, and he's just raining down.
Well, he's inside the last minute now, and those elbows and short chopping shots are taking their toll on Leeroy Barnes.
Well, in the VT leading up to the fight, Denniston Sutherland had a message. He said, Leeroy Barnes, get ready for the licks. You know what I'm saying. And here tonight, he has passed out the licks.
I think we all know what he's saying now. And again, with 25 seconds left, you really want to see Denniston Sutherland finish on a high, but you also want to see Leeroy Barnes finish. I wouldn't like to see him stop now after such a brave effort.
You have a saying here in England, I'm going to live or die by the sword, going out on a shield, and he has given it everything that he has. Unfortunately, Denniston Sutherland, very happy to make sure that he goes out on a shield.
Very, very dominant display, and there's only one winner here. What a great finish there by Denniston Sutherland. He knows it, Leeroy knows it. The body language of both men says it all, doesn't it? What a performance by Denniston Sutherland. Let's go to our MC Mike Markham for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards for the final decision. All three judges scored the bout 30-27 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Denniston Mad Max Sutherland.
And what a fight it was. Dive straight in there, Denniston. You talked before about get ready for the licks. You certainly gave those out, didn't you?
Yes, I was hoping to. Let me just say big respect to Leeroy, because he brought a lot more than I thought he would.
Well, he was there with you all the way. I mean, it was a dominant performance, but he never gave up, did he?
No, he never does. I've never seen him quit in a fight, so big props to him.
Well, you certainly proved that a man who gets to 39 can still do it. How much have you got left in the tank? How long are you going to go for?
Until I have to start doping up like some people. Then I'll have to keep fighting.
Well, listen, it is a fantastic performance. It was great to see you in the ring, and I think everybody enjoyed it down here at BAMMA 10. Put your hands together for your winner, Denniston Sutherland!